I saw something online about a guy who was like in his 60s. He said the one thing that you should put more into your business is fun. And people forget that because they're so, oh my God, my eye, my glasses, my this, my that. They try to make things so perfect. Who cares if it's perfect? Just be imperfect, be you, and just have fun and put it out there. And if you could tie that in with, like you said, your kids, dropping them off, got pulled over, what happened, bachelor party, Magic the Gathering, what happened, what did you really want to do with that party, you know, whatever, right? Just have fun with it. And it's exactly that. Some of the best posts were like, I did a post about agents not living and dying by their calendar, right? And I don't know how many meetings you guys probably have had taken, or anyone who's listening who offers services to agents, they don't show up. And you're like, all right, well, there you go. Another one didn't show up, not using their camera, did a picture, did a video on it, and the next thing you know, like, blew up. And there's like all these comments, yada, yada, yada. I know, I gotta get better with my calendar. I miss meetings too. So to get in the flow state is something that you have to do that really makes you come to life and you're passionate about. I feel like it's kind of hard for a lot of people because they're stuck in other things going on, whether they're in their head about whatever. But definitely those are some things to think about. And then you can go deeper with, I would say, area content is the best bang for your buck.
But that's so boring, bro.
Well, how do you make it fun?
You're listening to the number one real estate podcast in the world. We talk with real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, and stories help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. I'm joined with Vikram Deal of the Real Estate Sales Academy. Vikram can literally reach over and actually touch me, which is really weird. I know.
Your hand.
Slap,
what's up, buddy?
Slap your hand.
What's good, bro?
It's good to be next to you where, you know.
Weird. I don't know if I should look at the camera or if I should look at you.
You can look wherever you want.
You did take the primary seat this time, so next week we'll have to switch.
We'll flip it next week.
Because it feels weird looking at you and not the camera.
All right.
But I'll hold your hand in the meantime.
Hey.
What's up, man? What's good in your biz?
What's good in my world? We're rocking and rolling, man. We're like, things are good. Like we had a great month. We launched our affiliate program this month, Sheridan Street. We doing a ton of storytelling on email. I reached out to Sharon this week, my bro, man. I wish I would have done this 2 years ago. Just more storytelling through email. A lot of getting a ton of responses, ton of great.
It also takes time because as
doing other things.
Well, and the other thing is, like, I remember last year, the first set of videos you were making for content were like, you're really stiff.
Very tactical.
Yeah, you were like the talking head that wasn't super. And as you've the story told on social, I see it coming through on your emails and just your overall confidence around everything you're doing.
Well, it takes time, and people don't understand.
Well, like you've done like 1,300 videos, shorts and longs. Well, not even including the podcast.
Not including the podcast.
Yeah, so
we're 200 episodes deep of the podcast, and
30.
It's the constant repetition, and our guest today is 300 episodes deep with their podcast, and I was actually a guest on their podcast recently.
Oh, what, bro? I haven't been a guest on your podcast. We should cancel this. Cancel culture.
You know who's next?
Nor, my friend, why don't you give us kind of the 60-second Cliff Notes version on what the heck you're up to, and then we're gonna jam.
Yeah, I love it. First off, you guys' energy is freaking awesome. I love it, man. You guys are. I wish I was holding some hands here. I don't know.
Bro, hold on. Put your hand out. Interlock.
Give it to me.
We got it.
Let's go. Oh man, life's good. At the end of the day, stumbled upon real estate, called 350 agents to find out what the hell they're doing. Found out a lot of them have like their heads cut off. They're running around trying to figure things out. No disrespect to anyone. They just don't have marketing degrees. They don't have business degrees. They just are trying to figure out what works. And there's so many different companies and so many different options to choose. So we basically said, hey, how do we come up with a better opportunity to serve these agents? 6,000 agents later, probably served about 4,000, about 150 in 17 states, kicked off the podcast about 3.5 years ago, 300 plus episodes to go deeper, to build relationships, and to really be able to see how can we serve and not just, make agents feel like numbers, just go through a transaction and be like, oh, thanks for your money. See you later. Wham, bam, thinking, man. We want to actually go deeper, serve these agents, understand what makes them tick, and show them a better opportunity in this market, in any market, to win at the end of the day. And I think that's with passive prospecting and exactly what you do, Cody, which is storytelling. I think storytelling is where it's at, man. I love it.
It's a lost art. It's
hard.
It's super hard because like you constantly have to think about like, what do I want to talk about today? Like, Like I think a lot of people struggle with storytelling because they have a hard time thinking. Like they say, "Well, my life's not that interesting." Like I do sales, especially if you're in a real estate and you're in a local market. A lot of people say to me, "Well, it's easy for you, Cody. You travel around the world. You're in Punta Cana, then you're in Medellin." It's like how like let's
hanging out with Vikram. I mean, I am a story.
How like so? Let's chat about storytelling. Like, how does somebody effectively tell? How do we structure a story? Like, what does effective storytelling look like to you?
Yeah,
for a realtor or for an entrepreneur.
I like this. I think at the end of the day, we all do things. I don't know, whatever it is. You like to go shop. You like to go golf. You like to go, I don't know, you like cars. Whatever it is, you like something. And that something that you like is something that someone else is like. And you two can talk about that thing that you like. It's that simple at the end of the day. It doesn't mean you don't have it. And if someone thinks they're not interesting, there's someone else out there that doesn't think that they're interesting either. Because what do they say? Your vibe creates your tribe. So at the end of the day, you just put yourself out there. Right?
A bunch of not interesting people are going to vibe together online. That is that is
nothing
the
to
best
talk
thing
about.
I've ever heard.
But the best example I can give, like I have,
hilarious.
So I remember I was in Chicago for my buddies. This is probably like 7 years ago. I was in Chicago with a really good friend, and we were there for his bachelor party. And like my idea,
Cody, this isn't the right podcast.
No. My idea of a bachelor party is a lot different than his idea of a bachelor party. Like
this isn't the right podcast either.
They wanted there was a bunch of them, and they wanted to go to a magic store, like Magic the Gathering.
A what?
Oh my God! Yeah, Gathering. Like talk about like nerds on nerds.
What is? I don't even know what.
You don't even know what
you're
it is.
Talking about.
So it's a game.
Best
like it's like
cards ever.
It's like a card game. It's like playing Pokemon. It's like going and playing Pokemon. And
I don't understand.
That was the highlight of the bachelor party. Well, we did other things, but the highlight of the
what
bachelor
did
party.
you do on the? Let's storytell the bachelor.
That was the highlight, and they like there's so many people that gather together in order to play this game, and I'm
crazy.
Like, for me, I'm like, this is stupid. Like I don't understand.
What would have been more fun for you, Cody? No, the wrong podcast.
What would be fun? Yeah, I don't want to go down that road.
So like. Because, you know, we talk to agents all day long, right? We're all in the same business. We're all here to serve agents, right? How to have better conversations, how to get in front of your tribe, how to create a tribe, how to have a niche, right? We're all doing service for agents. Tactically, like if it's a 1, 2, 3. So if you're talking to an agent, right? Hey, Norm, brand new onto social media. I want to create better content. The just listed, the just sold stuff, like it's boring, it's played out. I hired an agency. Yeah, I hired an agency, and you know, when I work with my clients, I'm like, I don't teach branding, but it's a part of our program. It's not like my focus, but it's like, look at the posts that do well. When you talk about your kids, when you talk about, oh my God, turkey dinner was X, Y, and Z. When you talk about like actually showing a listing, your stagnant post that some company, God knows where, posted the same infographic that 9 million agents post. It had 13 milliseconds. Yeah, one view, one like, 13 milliseconds. And then you posted something where you think it's the stupidest thing ever. 1,600 people watched it, 38 comments, 49 likes and hearts. The proof is in the pudding, but they're like, well, Vic, that was just a one-off thing. I was in the flow. How do we help them get into the flow, bro?
Oh, I like that. The flow. It's so true. At the end of the day, right? Kobe Bryant talks about, a lot of professional athletes talk about the flow. I think the biggest thing is doing whatever makes you come to life and makes you feel fun and excited about whatever it is that you're doing. And I feel like the one thing, I saw something online about a guy who was like in his 60s. He said the one thing that you should put more into your business is fun. And people forget that shit because they're so, oh my God, my eye, my glasses, my this, my that. They try to make things so perfect. Who cares if it's perfect? Just be imperfect, be you, and just have fun and put it out there and have fun. And if you could tie that in with, like you said, your kids, dropping them off, got pulled over, what happened, bachelor party, Magic the Gathering, what happened, what did you really want to do with that party, you know, whatever, right? Just have fun with it. And it's exactly that. Some of the best posts were like, I did a post about agents not living and dying by their calendar, right? And I don't know how many meetings you guys probably have had taken, or anyone who's listening who offers services to agents, they don't show up. You're like, all right, well, there you go. Another one didn't show up, not using their camera, did a picture, did a video on it. And the next thing you know, like blew up. And there's like all these comments, yada, yada. I know I got to get better with my calendar. I miss meetings too. Blah, blah. So to get in the flow state is something that you have to do that really makes you come to life and you're passionate about. I feel like it's kind of hard for a lot of people because they're stuck in other things going on, whether they're in their head about whatever. But definitely those are some things to think about. And then you can go deeper with, I would say, area content is the best bang for your buck. Look at Levi Lassick living in Dallas, Texas. Look at what also Adam Hancock's doing with the Florida relocation guy. Those guys are doing hundreds of millions of dollars in business with like, here's the schools, here's the parks, here's the farmers market.
But that's so boring, bro.
School. Well, how do you make it fun?
How do you? So like, how does somebody that we just had somebody on loves their community. They're a veteran. They served our country. They are now working in where he's like north something. I grew up in America, so my geography is about as good as, you know, my spelling.
Right there with you.
Yeah, like, dude, AOL instant message. This little bit of spelling that I had fudged me, like completely fudged me. Math is good. Math is good. I give credit to my dad on that one, but like spelling AOL Instant Messenger fudged me.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about he prior to here, he's like, how do you spell dessert? Does that have one S or two S?
Yeah, I was like, bro, like it didn't pop up as a misspelled word, so I don't know if I'm using. Yesterday I asked Yesterday I asked my Colombian girlfriend, babe, is it effect or effect? She's like, really, you're going to ask me for English help? And I'm like, you're smarter than I am. She's like, so I mean, like, this is like real life. Like, I don't know, effect, like probably why people don't respond to my emails, but he's in North Austin.
Yeah.
He's crushing it. He serves people in the VA. Like maybe he'll listen to this one, right? He serves people that are veterans.
Love it.
And that's his niche. How would you help him? Because he's got an avatar that he's working. How would you help him? Like, okay, how do I make this a fun process? And I haven't really watched a lot of his content, so I don't know if it is, but he's funny as a human. He's got great personality. How would you coach him on like, hey bro, what kind of content would he put out?
Dude, storytelling. How many badass stories do veterans have of like blowing shit up or something happening or crossfire with shooting?
He blew up a lot of shit. That's what his job was.
Shit that's getting blown up. Talk about what's getting blown up. Talk about the crazy nights. Like, get into the emotional responses of what happened during that time to draw people in with the story of like, oh my God, what's the outcome, right? And hey, actually, truth to be told, they said if you misspell shit, you actually get better engagement because at least people comment on your shit saying that you spelt the thing wrong.
It's true. Yeah,
and I should have
some comment.
Yeah, I've had people respond to my emails. I sent tons of emails. They're like, you know, why wouldn't I listen to this? The grammar is off. I'm like, oh man, I need to run this through Grammarly before sending. So at least I learned something.
I've been there.
But like when it comes to the location-based stuff or building a brand or, you know, getting visible online, like how do you, like, say for example, somebody's doing things well, because there's a lot of people that are doing things well and but they're not necessarily transacting from it. Because I see this happen a lot too. It's like they have the branding down, they're producing the content, but they're like, you know, they come to you, they're like, Norman, like this is all great, this is all fine and dandy, and we even experienced this with the podcast. You know, it took like hundreds of episodes, and we're like, well, we don't necessarily see. It's hard for us to quantify the ROI of the podcast, but we keep doing it, and that's the quantification question.
250 episodes, 40,000 hours into it.
Yeah, like how do you
when does it start to pay?
How do you encourage someone to keep going when they can't quantifiably see the result?
I love that. I think you got to get back to the basics. Why in the world are you doing what you're doing in the first place? Right? Because at the end of the day, you guys are doing this podcast. Why are you doing the podcast? Because you want to show up, you want to serve. This is a part of your legacy. If anything happens, God forbid to any of us, at least we have something recorded giving value at some point of our lives where people could be like, that was a fucking cool dude. right? So if you're going to put out content and just be your true authentic self and educate or give that information, then fantastic. At least you're doing something to give back. And whether it's fun content, well, great. People that like to have fun and they're funny, we're going to have funny content that's going to attract those people. People that are boring, that do boring content and like here's the schools and park and whatever, are going to attract boring people, right? At the end of the day. So long as you're keep showing up and like your goal is like, oh, I want to help 35 families in 12 months. So I want 20 on the buy side, 15 or whatever on the sell side. Then that's your number. At least you could try to say, okay, cool. Like I'm starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Like I got a phone call. Perfect. Finally. Or, oh, I got this come up. Okay, finally. And then what Adam Hancock did was any questions that came up from his YouTube channel, he didn't see any results until like 30, 60, 90, 120 days. But questions came up that turned into additional videos that fueled his fire before people started to reach out to say, hey, I'm ready to buy or sell. So he just took the questions, whether it's your spelling sucks. Okay, thanks. I'm getting something here, right? Like
people are watching something, reading something.
Now on the let's go technical for some of these people because you're like obviously you help agents do some cool stuff. So like from a technical perspective, aside from hiring you or aside from hiring another marketing agency, what should agents consider from a tech perspective? What are 3 things that you think every agent should be doing for themselves in order to like allow them to have a larger reach so that like their niche, they can reach their niche? Like, is it Google My Business? Is it YouTube? Like, what are some things that you're like, this is a non-negotiable?
Yeah, for sure. Well, age plays a factor in it. And that meaning by that is that if you want to go after empty nesters, downsizers, or people that are going to be a little bit of an older demographic that would downsize or empty nester or relocate, then YouTube average users, 75% of them are female and they're 55 plus. So that would be great. Use Facebook for attracting individuals on that set. If you want someone who's millennial, 35 to 45, 50 plus, then you go Instagram, and a non-negotiable is getting on your phone, recording things that you're doing, put it onto your stories and being consistent with it. Because I, believe it or not, met my wife and Dan Gandy, the host of our podcast, and my wife off Instagram. Just being consistent and putting out content and just like people like vibing out with me and they just send me a DM. And next thing you know, we start a conversation and something else comes out of it. And that's the simplest way possible is just use your smartphone, use social media and get on it. And then if you want to go like TikTok and you want to go younger, you can go TikTok and find individuals on that side. Like Ryan Serhan talks about, I'm filming content for my generations to come, my 15-year client in the future. And that's why he's on all the different platforms. But figure out like how many clients, what's your goal? And then what age are you? And then what do you feel most comfortable on? And then stick with that lane because YouTube isn't for everyone because there's a lot of thumbnail, copy, meta tagging, the editing. It's a lot of shit. At least with YouTube, you're going to like put a freaking short out there. The same thing you put a reel, you put it on TikTok, you can put it on Instagram, you can put it on YouTube, and it's all 9x16 short form content. As long as it's less than a minute, you're good. You can promote it on everything. And I get more bang for buck right now on shorts than I do on any of my platforms currently.
Hi, it's Cody from Sheridan Street. I want to invite you to a free trial of our Sheridan Street appointment engine where we'll send you 3 buyer and seller live appointments for absolutely free. Go to sheridanstreet.io/trial. That's SHERIDANST.io/trial. And you'll get instant access to a free trial of our Sheridan Street appointment engine. Let's hop back into the show.
When people create content, right? And I've had this conversation with a lot of people. They don't know how to open the conversation, right? So they create content, right? Because like you got guys that are crushing it. You got clients that are crushing it. But hey, Vic, so we create the content and people like our stories. People comment on our stories. We even sometimes get a DM. Then what?
And then that's when the magic happens and the conversation starts to happen. At the end of the day, keep it simple, stupid. No one cares about who you are or who you're with. All they care about is the value you add. And until you add value to someone else is when they'll finally be like, all right, I see enough value here that this person knows what the fuck they're talking about. Excuse my language. And now I'm interested in giving them 2 cents of my time, right? Because that's the thing. It's all about eyeballs. And if you don't have something of value for someone, then they're not going to waste their time on you.
Let's
Straight to the point.
Let's break it down because, again, what is value for somebody? So like you're a buyer, you're out there posting content, right? You're out there posting content about new construction and why people would want to live in, I don't know, North Gilbert, right? So you're talking about a specific neighborhood, you're in the new construction, right? And you're talking about why people would move and why people wouldn't move. And all of a sudden, Cody is looking, oh my God, Cody's looking to bring his lovely family into North Gilbert, and they exactly love what you've shared. But a lot of agents will be like, cool, when are you moving? How much are you approved for? Have you talked to a lender? And the conversation goes like flatter than a flat line of a dead human, because it's all sales conversation instead of connection. So how would you advise somebody you're working with to open up? Because, okay, we got the local content. It's finally kicking. It's been 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but people are seeing it. It's showing up. People are liking it from out of state. Like, oh my God, I got a DM, right? Because you're not going to reach out to the people that are liking your stuff until you reach out, like until you can have the conversation in the DM. So how do we have the DM conversation? Like, how would you?
I love that.
Opening it.
Yeah, definitely. Questions and asking why. It's not so much like, I'll give you an example. On the podcast, after the podcast, I'm going to call an agent. Okay. The agent basically that I met is going to interview a couple different agencies. Before I call her, I went on her social media. I checked her out. I see what she's up to. So anyone, right? So Cody, you want to come out to North Gilbert? Great. I see you're watching my stuff. You send me the DM. I'm going to go into your social media. I'm going to look you up. I'm going to see who you are, what you're doing, and how can I relate to you? Then the first thing I'm going to do when I call the agent after the podcast, she crashed her bike going downhill in California in Tahoe. And thank God she's okay. And then I'm going to give her a call. And the first thing I'm going to say to her, you're a badass. That's the first word out of my mouth. You're a badass. And she'd be like, what? You're a badass because you literally like went down that massive hill, crashed your bike, got up, thought to take a picture of yourself, posted it on social media, and that post like blew up. Kudos to you. That's how I'm going to start the conversation. Or, hey, Cody, so you want to move from where you're currently at. Why do you want to come to North Gilbert? Is it because you watch my videos on new construction and because low inventory and the high interest rates, you get better interest rates coming from builders? Because that was the information I just gave you in my videos. And now you're going to get better interest rates coming in North Gilbert because now you could be able to live in a place where it's up and coming. It's rated the top 5 places to live for starting a family in like the millennial age. The downtown's growing. It's absolutely amazing. You saw that already. And this is the thing. If anyone's putting out content, 9 times out of 10, after you build the know, like, and trust, and the 7 triggers to yes, which is a good book, states if you do something for someone else and more inclined to do something back to you, if someone's getting in someone's DMs because of the information you're giving them, they're already sold. It's like a relationship fan type situation. When you see someone on TV, you're like, oh my God, I'm a fan. The Rock, he's amazing. You meet him in person, you're a fan of him, just like what happened with Kobe. And so many people are connected to Kobe's death because he was so passionate and all the content and all the games and how many fans he had. And people felt passion behind his death. And they're like, oh my God, they only like felt like it was like his relative themselves, because that's what happens on a psychology forefront when people start digesting content day in and day out. After 30, 60, 90 days, you form a habit. Kobe has that habit. Now he wants to move to North Gilbert. He knows his better interest rates. He knows he wants to raise his family and get to the next level. Then I'm just going to go deeper and say, why do you want to move here? Do you think it's a good idea? 3 months out of the year, it's 115 degrees. It's super hot. So you're going to be indoors. That's your winter time. Are you aware of that? Add even more value and make sure that he's not going to have buyer's remorse come out here and hate me for the rest of his life. That's what I would do.
Very, very great answer. Very, very deep, very thorough.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the first step is you have to have a process.
Yes.
Right. So like write down your, like, so like just from a tactical standpoint, right? Because I love the energy, but write it down, you guys. Like, why people are so scared to use a script, but I'm like, y'all use toilet paper to wipe your butt. Everybody wipes their ass the same way, unless you're in India and you use a cup of water, but everybody does it the same way. Why? Because it works. It's a proven system to get you from point A to point B without stinking up the room everywhere you walk, right? Like
courtesy flesh.
Cody and I are having a very interesting time together. You have to listen to the podcast with Dylan because Cody got really passionate. So why are we like, the first thing is, it's like, we have a proven process. The proven process is step 1. You get somebody to reach out to you, right? You get curious. You go on their social media. Step 2, right? You send them a message back about, hey, a sorting question. Like, what's bringing you out here? Is it this or this based off of the content you produced, right? So know the content that they typically responded to because they liked it.
Yeah.
They commented on it, then they DM'd you, right? So you possibly know what they like, right? So you can ask a cool sorting question.
Yep.
Hey, did you know that it's 116 degrees in the wintertime and in the summertime? Oh, no, is it really always that hot? No, it's just in the summertime. But are you aware that it's really hot and you're going to be indoors or you're going to need a pool, right? Like, do you know how to swim or do you like ice baths? Why would you ask it? Well, because it's 116, right? Like, have your 3 to 5 opening questions written out.
Definitely.
First step is we don't start asking if they're pre-approved. We don't start asking we start to ask the questions that open them up to share more information with you. And then from there, you can book a live Zoom call because now you've actually created the relationship. Those are like, I wish we would stop. I wish people would stop thinking of scripts as like scripts, but their abilities to create relationships. And once the relationship's there, you don't need to use a script to show houses and talk to humans. You need the script for the first 11 minutes. And then it's, oh my God, wow, they know, like, and trust me based off of the content you're producing, and life's easy.
Yeah.
So like, I just wanted to slow that down, but you got to write this stuff down, you guys. Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, Oprah, you name the person. They didn't get on stage and get to where they were at because they were just winging it. They did it because everything was laid out prior, and then you shift things around, but you know where you're going, so you get to the final destination, but maybe you had a blowout, so you stopped along the way.
I have a question. I have a follow-up question. I have a follow-up question in regards to like coming off of the, the strategic process that is actually required in order to drive real results. Because what you guys are doing for agents, you guys have a strategic process. Like you follow a systematic approach that gets them a desired result, like in regards to like building their website, in regards to having the right SEO to really like get the agent to where they want to go. Like what are some things that you guys do that are non-negotiables when they come to you and they say, okay, I want to build my brand, or I want to, I want to drive more traffic to my website. Like, what is that? Like, what are some non-negotiables that agents need to be considering in order to actually get themselves out there today in today's market?
Yeah, 100%. And really quick, just to put bookends on that last part, what you just said, I loved it, is I also like to ask questions just for feedback because everyone loves to give their opinion. So if you're going to follow up with someone via DM, ask a question on how do you like my content? Is it been helpful? Yes or no? Yes, I love this. I hate that, whatever. Now, going to your question, Cody.
I like to.
The biggest thing is you have to understand, and this is a non-negotiable, because agents think, and a lot of them are like, oh my God, the next big thing. Yes. So they want to sign up for this next big thing, or because Tony Robbins, or more importantly, it's Tom Ferry says this is the next big thing. So they want to sign up for the company and whatever. It could be, we'll say luxury presence because he's pushing them real hard right now. And the problem with it is that the agent doesn't have clear understanding of where they want to go. So they don't really understand how many families they want to serve, or how much top line GCI they want to make. There's nothing really behind anything we're doing if they don't really have goals set in place. So we can then help them achieve those goals. We literally had someone reach out to us today and he said, full transparency. I love just being transparent. He's like, hey, I'm feeling really like I'm getting scammed my website here. And I'm like, interesting. I was like, okay, well, here's the recap email. We met with you because we meet our agents on a either once a month, once every other month, or once a quarter, depending on startup, ramp up, or scale up. So we can coach on program and make sure that they're looking at the KPIs, the SOPs, and they're seeing results and success from it. And the guy's like, I'm feeling like I'm being scammed here. I'm like, it's like a tool in your toolbox. Like, you're not going to call the manufacturer of the tool company and say, hey, I bought your tools, but they're not working. They're going to ask you, do you use them? No. Well, then if you didn't use them, then why are you calling me? Right? So I sent them a recap email and said, here's all the stuff I told you to do. Did you do any of it? No. So how are we scamming you if you don't do the things that you're supposed to do and you want to blame me for your shortcomings because you don't know where you're going? And that's the truth to be told. Agents don't know where they're going. That's why 90% of the business is done by the top 10% of real estate professionals. That's why Oprah, that's why Tony Robbins, that's why Kobe O'Brien, they're so deliberate with every single inaction or action because they know exactly where they want to go, and the compound effect is real. And you will have that a compound effect, right? And have massive success if you're destined for it because you know what you want to do. I know that at Liftoff Agent, we'll have 15,000 agents in 10 years and do about 12 million a year and 136 million on an annual basis. And I'll sell the company for a 3x multiple and it will cash out for about $300 million in 10 years. I know that's going to happen. And any action or inaction that I do is going to serve me in that pursuit.
How do agents get clarity?
Clarity? Ask yourself the hard question. What do you want in 2024?
What's the hard question?
And why do you want it? Do you want to serve 25 families? Is it money? Is it family?
They
all say they want 25. Like everyone says we want to do 24 deals, but no one actually by the end of the year
24 to 36.
Yeah, but by the end of the year, like
3 a month.
They just don't do it. Like you've heard this, I've heard this.
We all have.
You know, Vikram hears this.
We've all heard it.
We all hear it, and this happens. Like this isn't just guys. This is not just a real estate agent thing. This is entrepreneurs say this, coaching. Like physiotherapists, like this is a business. This is a business. This is a human thing. Hey, I want to lose 30 pounds this year. Doesn't happen.
Okay.
It's everything. Like
some people gain 30 so that they can lose 30.
So like I was listening to a podcast literally today. Dana White was talking about how somebody on the team had chatted about it's like everyone's motivated in different ways. Like he was literally explaining that like there was a guy on his team. He's like, I will pay you $15,000 if you lose 25 pounds. So he lost the 25 pounds and he's like, you lose 25 more, I'll pay you $15,000 more. And the guy couldn't get to the next 15 pounds. So he ended up like not getting the other 15,000 because he couldn't lose the additional 25. It's like, how do we find clarity to actually hit the goal that we actually say we want to do?
I love that. All right. I just got back from Korea and the Philippines, was out there from the 2nd to the 18th. And here's my life by design. What I did was I put together a life by design. Everything is highlighted in the blue are specific things that are going to tie into the income that I'm looking to bring in. My business partner, Smith Chung, I never seen him online. And he's just like that. Money doesn't motivate him. He doesn't care about money. That's not his thing, but he likes to build stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. You like to build stuff. You need money to build stuff. Okay. So if you want to help 25 families, agents out there, then let's talk about what would your life look like if you were to serve those 25 agents or 25 buyers and sellers. And what would it look like? Not just for your income, but for your life. Could you go on more vacations? Could you get more massages? Could you eat healthier? Could you do charity work? Could you buy a new car? So I feel like if you could tie
get your kids into the school they want.
Yes, private school, whatever it is. Let's stop thinking about the 25 deals. Let's start thinking about what the life would look like if you were to hit those goals. And for me, I want to motivational speak and go help our youth and go to schools and do more with the ability of having financial wealth and abundance to then do more, to serve more, to help more, and then get to that next place. And so I put together a list of specifically what do I want to do? Everything from taking my wife out to dinner twice a week, to taking my family out once a week, to getting a massage once a week, to everything. I lined it all out so then that way I can get excited each and every day. So when I get closer to that income that I'm looking to achieve and agents I want to serve across the country, then I'm like, oh my God, I could check this off my list. I just made this out. Oh, I could check this off. Oh my God. And then it just goes down that line, right? And then it hopefully will motivate someone who's listening and viewing as far as like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I want the 25, but what could that be income wise? Because you got to look at the average medium home sales price in your area. So those 25 homes equals what? Top line GCI minus all the broker fees and your taxes, what's left over, and what could that number do for you? And is that something that gets you excited? If it doesn't get you excited, then we have a bigger problem.
Yeah, bro. It seems it's funny because all three of our guests today have all talked about there has to be some sort of reward system. And if we only think about if we think about 25, right, or 10 or 15, whatever your number is, right? But most agents say my life, I have a fundamental belief that the single agent's life would fundamentally change at 2 deals consistently per month, right? If you as an agent can do 2 deals a month, right? It doesn't matter your price point because you live in your price point, right? So if your price point's $500,000, if price point's $250,000, your most expensive houses aren't $40 million like in LA, right? So most agents can fundamentally shift their life at 2 deals a month, but most agents will not get to that number. And it's because it's kind of like how when poor people focus on all I need is X amount of dollars to pay my bills. Well, why don't you just say all I need is about $10,000 more than that, or $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 more? Why don't you make the number what you want it to be instead of the number that you think you need it to be? And people are always focusing on what they don't have. Oh, I don't have enough this. I don't have, like, dude, you don't have a phone? You stood in line for the latest iPhone. Like, what are you talking about? You have an iPhone 17. They're not even on there. That's not even an option. You have it. Like, you don't have any money for anything else, but you have the latest and greatest tech that you don't even use. Because, like, when you go on the iPhone and the Android, you don't even pick up your phone. Like, I pick up my phone more often, and I don't actively sell real estate anymore because I'm like, what if it is a past client? What if it is a referral? What if it could be somebody that wants to do business with me or that I can help? Maybe I don't. But, like, people have all the tech, but they don't use the tech.
Yeah.
And in our world, I would say now, you know, Cody's got this, like, we're recording off this, like, $10,000 camera setup. But when I walked into the house yesterday, the camera was in the corner. He just bought a brand new camera. That was in the corner. I have a mobile camera. That's not set up. When we record content, we grab our phones and we record content looking at our phone, walking around, doing some stupid crap. Cody just bought his new microphones. He's like, bro, I needed better microphones. And we're going to be living together next year. And it's like, hey, if we had better microphones, we could do more cool content. So he's like, I bought new mics. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Because the mics I had were not so great, but they worked. Like, but this is after 3,000 videos combined, over 3,000 videos. We're starting to invest more into our into our tech. When you talk with people, right? Because again, like you're doing things at a high level and you're talking to them about their business and you're helping them plan out their life and you're talking about future pacing and you're talking about the whys of showing up and doing the work, putting in the content, making the websites, investing into your future business self. What's the number one objection you get from agents right now that are doing well, like doing medium, right? Not like crushing it where, you know, $5,000-$10,000 wouldn't even hurt their bank account, but like, I don't know what you charge, so I'm just throwing numbers out there, but you're talking to the agent who's doing well, but they're not crushing it, right? They're stable, they're providing for the family, but they're not crushing it and they want to crush it. What's the number one objection you hear?
I would say that a lot of it's, like you said, lack. It's lack in mindset. And I think because of the low inventory, the high interest rates, and all the FUD in the market, people are getting so clouded, they don't have clarity. And without clarity and everything being so clouded, they're just literally like, you know, having a hard time. Even my sister-in-law, she's in Blackhawk, California, and she's a pretty good producing agent, coldwell banker, and she hasn't sold a home in 6 months. And she's like, yeah, Blackhawk's not cheap. And so she was on a higher end scale up with us, and we're doing the whole YouTube thing, and she's starting to catch momentum. But then she was like, I can't keep diving into the savings here. And I think a lot of it was lack and mindset, and really challenging you to really, like, you might say you want it, but how bad do you really want it?
Like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like,
you're good.
How are you guys helping the agent? Because if they can't see the bigger vision, right? Like my rich dad says, the best is here with more to come, right? It used to be the best is yet to come. And now it's the best is here with more to come, right? He upgraded his rule number 5. He upgraded his rule number 5, right? He's like, the best is here with more to come. Took him a couple $1 billion to upgrade it, but he still did it, right? Like, how are you helping agents that are on this toilet bowl down, thinking scarcity? How are you guys helping them? Because if they don't, I think it was Taki that said this, Taki Moore, he said, if they don't buy from you, you can't help them. So how are you helping them overcome their own limiting beliefs so that you can do what you fucking love to do, which if you guys don't feel the energy and passion right now, like that's why I had to slow down my tone, because I was like, we're about to go through the roof. Slow down. No, and I love it, but it's like, how are you at? Because I don't want people to be excited. I want people to take action.
Yeah.
I think everybody here, like I know Cody is the same. I know you, based off of our 30 minutes together, how do you help them if they're not willing to help themselves? So like, how are you helping them overcome that limited scarcity mindset where I haven't done anything for 6 months, and you're like, no, you're on the verge. I know you're so close. If you keep putting it out there, karmic return is gonna be there. We have to tweak this, we have to tweak that, but please don't stop. It's not because I want your $10 extra a month. I'm not trying to put you on this. I want you to go back and be the person that lives in Blackhawk. That's an absolutely fucking amazing neighborhood, but it's millions of dollars to live there. And 6 more months of no sales, you might have to sell your house, or I don't know what your finances are, but how do you help them oversee that and overcome that challenge?
I love that. So one thing that came up for me is Cody was talking about on our podcast is like, you have the masterminds, right, with your clients to go deeper with them. That's the one thing we did. As soon as the market shifted, we're like, all right, we need to go deeper with our clients. At the end of the day, it's more quality over quantity. And so, of course, we want to have 15,000, whatever, but let's go deeper. Let's go deeper into mindset, where they're at, what's going on, and then coaching them on program. And then the compound effect and momentum, right? At the end of the day, I think the biggest thing that kills agents' business is momentum. And soon as they start slowing down momentum, like what we saw at the 2.75 in the 2001, 2003, we saw those low inventory, and then we just saw listings flying off the shelf and hundreds of thousands over ask. Everyone felt so high and felt amazing, and the momentum was there. But the momentum was there just collectively, because collectively we all were doing well. Well, now it's separation season, and in separation season, you have to keep the momentum going, and that's when you need to look deeper into yourself, and you're really being challenged. That's why a lot of agents got out of the business. I don't know what it was, 65,000 agents or something that like CRR or Carl was talking about earlier this year. You really got to now have more action. And so what we do is meet the agents, talk with them about where they're at, and say you need to put out more video than ever before. Get on stories, get on reels, get your YouTube videos to us. And a lot of agents weren't maximizing video. And even on our ramp up program, we're not editing, but we're at least getting the videos out there. Yeah. Just get us those videos. And so we've had now clients that are like starting to get fired up now. And we've just had a team meeting yesterday. We're like getting more videos and more client content, which is super breath of fresh air and super amazing, because now they're starting to see, okay, I need to just take more action, and then collaborating. Do more collaboration. So any agents out there, collaborate more with the agents in your office that are having more success. Yeah. Pick their brain, be around them, because like attracts like. And like they said, you want more success, be around those that are already where you want to be. Right. So those are a couple tactical things to do. So honestly, I don't wish any ill will on any marketing agent, any company, but anyone's listening to this right now and they can't quantify the ROI on their investment with whatever they're paying, reach out to the company you're paying and see if you can have a meeting, a strategy session to strategize, like, what could we be doing differently, or what could you specifically be doing differently, the viewer here or listener, to then be able to maximize investment and then challenge yourself to do more, to get that momentum going. So when 2024 comes, you're already got that momentum built up and you can just play off that.
It's become abundantly clear to me, like everything that we've been chatting about, it's our beliefs that map our thoughts, and it's our thoughts that map our actions, and our actions ultimately drive the momentum. It's like we want the result, but it's like we forget about the 15 steps prior to the result, the belief, the thoughts, the actions, the momentum that ultimately drive the result we're looking for. Norman, I want to just say, thank you so much. Wrapping up here, thank you so much for bringing so much insight to the real estate market and what you guys are doing in regards to really helping them, think outside the box, really helping them get into action, to change the mindset, to change the belief system that ultimately is the operating system towards success. If somebody wants to reach out to you, they want to learn a little bit more about what you guys are up to, they want to learn a little bit more about your podcast, where's the best place that we can send them to have a conversation with you?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think the biggest thing is it starts with like whoever's at the top of anything, right? Any company, Elon Musk, he's at the top, right? Like, start with just looking up at Mr. Liftoff. Go to at Mr. Liftoff on my Instagram. All the handles there for anything that we're doing. And just check me out as a human being and as an individual, as a father, as a friend, just as a person. And if you vibe with me, then take the next steps to go see the content that's out there for free, liftoffagent.com, Real Estate versus Technology, what have you. And then go to the next steps, right? Because at the end of the day, your vibe creates your tribe. If you're not connecting with what I'm saying, and not everyone connects with everyone, then that's what I would say first and foremost, to go down that process.
Hey man, appreciate you. Really, really do appreciate you.
Super good episode.
Amazing episode. Hope you guys got a ton of value today. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Our Agent Podcast. If you got any value, all we ask, leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, where we're directing people. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Want to say thank you once again. Thank you, Norman. And thank you for tuning into another episode of the Our Agent Podcast. We'll see you soon.